Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent, 4 candles lit. We're continuing Ishtar's Odyssey, and today is the second part of the final chapter. Now Ishtar could see that it was indeed his fish-selling friend, and there was a great reunion. Ishtar introduced Bartholomew to Kazim, after which Bartholomew said to Salamar, "I have seen the strange star you search for. Did you find it yourself?" Salamar nodded. "Yes, Jotham showed it to us 2 nights ago, and it led us in the direction of Jerusalem." "We met your king Herod," Ishtar said excitedly. "He was most anxious to worship your Messiah when he is born. Father promised to tell him when we find the child." Nathan, who had been standing back, finally spoke up. "I came to rescue 2 boys lost in the desert, but I seem to be the only one who doesn't know what's going on." Salamar laughed and sat his friend down to catch him up on the news. Bartholomew told Ishtar and Salamar an amazing story of being attacked by Romans the same day he traded with Salamar for some Persian tea. His family had been taken captive and was still missing. Ishtar couldn't believe that another of his new friends had lived through such adventures. "We saw those Romans," Ishtar gasped. Then he told how they had seen the legion of soldiers marching across the hills after the caravan left Taraki. When Bartholomew heard that Jotham had left for a town called Bethlehem earlier in the day, he was anxious to go there. But Nathan said it was too late, and it would have to wait until morning. Salamar asked Bartholomew about his family, and while Bartholomew told him, Nathan invited Ishtar to walk with him. It was dusk by now, and the people of the caravan were settling in around their fires. Ishtar kept looking at Nathan out of the corner of his eye. Finally he said, "Why is it that everyone calls you a fool? You look very normal to me." Nathan laughed loudly. "Do not let appearances trick you, my young friend. I am indeed foolish." Ishtar had no idea what the man was saying, so Nathan added, "At times I dress and play the part of a fool. I find it better to fight with trickery than with the sword." They turned and walked down the hill toward the stream Kidron, Kazim following a short distance behind. "So, Ishtar, have you yet found your role in this drama?" Nathan asked. "What do you mean, my role?" "It seems that Jehovah is bringing many things together for a most holy event. Jotham is here for a reason. Bartholomew is here for a reason. Your father and I both are here for a reason. Have you yet discovered your own purpose?" Ishtar shrugged. "I am only here because my father made me come." By now they had reached the stream. Ishtar sat on a rock and soaked his feet. Nathan sat on another stone next to him. "I do not believe that to be true, Ishtar," Nathan said. "If you are here, it is because Jehovah wants you here." "Jehovah is one of your gods, correct?" Ishtar asked. Nathan smiled. "Jehovah is my only God. Jehovah is the only God there is." Ishtar desperately wanted to tell this old fool that such thoughts were ridiculous, but remembering how that had gotten him into trouble in the past, he held his tongue. Instead he said, "Why do you believe there is only one God when it makes no sense?" Nathan took a deep breath. "Indeed, it is the only thing that does make sense. How can there be more than one in charge of a thing? Is not a fine meal prepared by many, but all led by one cook? Does not a group of musicians have but one player providing the beat of the music? Is not this mighty caravan of yours led by one caravansalar? There is only one God because there can be only one God. But why do you think your God is the only real God? Nathan was quiet for a moment, then said, Because he has told me so. He has told me through my ancestor Noah. He has told me through my ancestor Abraham. He has told me through my ancestors Moses, Elijah, and David, through the prophets and the judges, the stories of whom are all written in our Torah. Nathan stood and waded into the stream to wash his feet. But if that were all the evidence I had, my faith would be dead. You see, he said, as he turned and looked at Ishtar, he has also spoken to my heart, and he is always near. And sometime soon he will speak to me through the Messiah. I know many languages, Ishtar said, and Simeon tried to explain, but I still do not understand this word Messiah. Ah, it is a most wonderful word, Nathan answered. It means one who will save us. Now Ishtar stood and waded across the stream, enjoying the feel of smooth rocks on the soles of his feet, but feeling frustrated inside. Save us from what? Our Jewish Caravansalar said this Messiah will save us from the Romans, but I'm already saved from them. Nathan thought for a moment. No, not the Romans. Save us from ourselves, really. Save us from our selfish desires, from our need to feel important and to be the center of attention, when it is God himself on whom we should be centered. Like the water of this stream washing our feet, Nathan said, the love of the Messiah will wash our souls of selfishness, if we allow him to. Ishtar scrunched up his face. That's what Simeon said. But how can one man's love wash the souls of everyone else? Nathan smiled. Because the Messiah is not just a man. He is God himself. And then Nathan told Ishtar a most amazing story, a story of laws and prophets, a story of love and of sacrifice, a story such as Ishtar had never heard in all his lessons or in all his life. Think about this. How has God prepared Ishtar throughout his journey to hear this story that Nathan tells him?